Well, good morning and welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Idris Matusegawa, and we are into that segment where we talk about entertainment. It's Friday, and I have in studio Andrew Kagwa, the usual suspect, entertainment journalist, and I have Matthew Nawiso, a producer and actor, and interesting fact, it's his birthday today. Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank
we
you.
don't have a cake for you though.
Thank you. Yeah, no, you guys have to make it.
You have to, no? And I have Mushema, who is an actor and a friend of mine. Boss, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Are you going to pray today? Hopefully.
I have to.
Well, you might be asking yourself, what are we going to talk about? I have an actor, a film producer, an entertainment journalist, and myself, I'm a screenwriter. We are going to talk about the film industry and how COVID-19 has impacted that industry. And now that the economy is reopened, what's next? And I'll start with you, Mushema. How was COVID-19 for you as an actor?
As an actor,
yes,
definitely the first COVID, that hit badly. I remember we were doing a production with NTV, Power of Legacy, and
it had to stop.
It had to stop completely.
And you were broke.
And we were broke. We went home, we sat, we ate, we grew fat, we changed, and it was very devastating. They gave out posho to the other people, the artists like us. We are forgiven. We have forgotten, like the artists, the filmmakers. Forgot what about artists.
But you were calling man.
You know,
no, but that's a fact.
But then is a kawango kuchongera. Anyway,
it's your chance.
Anyway, but this past after the first COVID happened, and then the next we picked up in a way because we figured out we had to find a way to make things work around us. Otherwise, we knew this is going to stay with us for the longest period of time. We didn't know how it's going to end. We don't know whether it will ever end. So the most important thing was to first get the solution. How are we going to survive through this? And I'm very proud. I'm very proud that we've tried to maneuver through.
Yeah. In your network as an actor, don't you have actors who did not per se get gigs during COVID-19 lockdown?
Yes, very many of them. I must admit that there's so many actors out there that really wanted a chance to be a part of a production, any other production, or probably something that you know would boost them up financially, mentally, you know, something to keep them busy. But unfortunately, there was not so many opportunities for everyone. But as we're going forward, I think, inshallah, there's more opportunities for everyone. In fact, we are even now, I'm starting to think we're even smaller in number in Uganda as actors.
As an actor, you are in front of the camera and you're the face. People see you. Isn't that a big challenge for you to say you're in COVID-19, you're broke, you're not making money? How do you keep up with your life?
I like this question.
Hey. I ask interesting questions.
The thing is, sometimes reality hits badly. And where our industry is, or was in 2020, the fact is we were making some money before COVID came. When COVID came, went into lockdown, we became broke. We became like the rest of everyone in Uganda. And seeing someone who you admire on TV, someone who inspires you so much, walking down on the street, going to buy a Rolex to survive, going to buy something small just to survive.
Maybe Guinness.
That hit differently. Where we were, around the premises where we stay, people started saying, and the thing is, we're just professionals who are just doing our job as well, just like doctors, lawyers. So we are very unfortunate that the business we're in, so you find yourself in a more problematic way, you know. You can't even hide yourself. But the truth is, you have to find ways to feed your family.
You have to find a way to survive.
Yeah.
Indeed. Now, I'm going to move to Mr. Matthew Nawiso, who was an actor first. I met you as an actor, but now you have transitioned to film producer, director, screenwriter.
You see, that's funny. I met him as a singer.
Someone else is going to come up and say, I met Matthew as a taxi driver. Now, what's going on? That's what But Matthew, your story has been long, and during COVID-19, you had already transitioned to a film producer, a film director. How did it impact you for the people who are behind the scenes? How did COVID-19 really just get in there and disorganized your schedules? On
the contrary, I would say COVID is the best thing that ever happened to my business. Because for many years as a filmmaker, I took time talking to, because I was doing a lot of work for NGOs, for instance. And I always took a lot of time to pitch and tell them, guys, you need to communicate visually. Visual communication is the key. Visual communication is the future. But they didn't believe. People kept saying, you know, TV is very expensive, visual is very expensive. I sang that song for a very long time. Now COVID struck. People could not do workshops, they could not do what, and the option they had was
visual.
And honestly, my business grew like 5 times. 5 times. So to me, it is the best thing that ever happened.
Well, we are coming for some money.
So I think a lot of my business grew. We did a lot of content. I got some of the best projects I could have ever gotten as a filmmaker. And honestly, I can say I am in a good place.
You've been working.
Yes, now, I've been working every single day. I've not stopped
now, Matthew, for those producers who did not get the same opportunity as you, tell us what are the tricks and what are some of the things that a film producer like yourself, director, company owner, what are some of the things you have to look out?
I think it goes back to your quality of production, because there are very many producers or filmmakers out there, but it goes back to how much you put into your production, in terms of production design, in terms of everything, lighting, costume, what. You need to give people something that is really appealing for them to come to you. If you do things that are
substandard,
people call it by Ugandan standard, it's okay. When you do that, I mean,
it's a problem.
Yeah,
it
it's
becomes
a problem.
problem.
When COVID strikes, you're going to be one of those people who are going to be crying. But if you have good quality productions, everybody is going to look for you. That's.
I would like to talk about something, locations. You see, when we were in a lockdown, you said you were working. There was a challenge of most of these locations, for example, bars, hotels, which we use as sets. Didn't you find a challenge of movement?
We did
even accessing these places.
We did find a lot of challenges actually, because our scripts were already done and we had scenes in bars, we had scenes in restaurants, and most of these places were closed. So it was very, very challenging, but we would go through the trouble of either talking to the people, authorities, police, and tell them, look here, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a show and it requires this. We need to be in such and such a location. Actually, there's a particular day we had actually a letter, police letter from the police headquarters permitting us to film, to film. So we are in an area, we are busy filming, and then some other people pass by and are like, wait, there are people in a bar. So these guys came with pickup trucks and rounded us up, threw us on the pickup, my cameras, everything. We were bundled up and taken to police. We're like, guys, we have a letter, like, just board. No bars allowed. So it took us a whole day to explain what we are doing there. We're not drinking, we are filming, we have taken all the measures, SOPs, and we have put them in place and all that. But by the time we had to go through all that, we had lost a day of filming. So it was very challenging. We wouldn't shoot in bars, streets were a hard place and things like that.
And drawing from that story that you've just told, do you think Ugandan authorities have not understood what we exactly do as filmmakers?
To a great extent, yes. They do not know.
How can we improve that knowledge, that awareness?
I think the more we produce quality content that is going to actually attract their eyes and ears to watch and understand. I think that's the only thing that we have to do, the only way we have to go
to move
to
forward.
help them understand what we are doing, the value and its impact in society.
Well said. And I'll cross over to Mr. I will not use the name.
What did you want to say?
We are moving on. So Andrew, as an entertainment journalist, what kind of stories did you get to write during COVID-19 about film?
Geez. Okay, you see, we've had two versions of COVID-19 lockdowns. That there was that very first one where everyone was home, well, besides journalists, and then there was that second lockdown where people were home, but it was a bit flexible. I remember the very first time we went into the lockdown. Before we actually went into the lockdown, you see, the whole COVID-19 started from out, and then we were feeling the ripples down in Uganda. First, cinemas did not have content. Yeah. They were still open, but they did not have new content. And then the numbers started going down because the rumors were moving around, people were scared, and then we were locked down eventually, so we couldn't move. I think some of the very first stories I did, there was that time cinemas reopened themselves, and the reopening happened because malls had been opened. There was a whole thing of the people that are running the country not understanding who we are. Because, I mean, when you come out and you're like, yeah, churches can open to have capacity, these places can open to have capacity, malls can reopen, and then you're not opening the cinemas in the malls. Like, you're like, okay, what exactly are you doing? And then, of course, I'm asking myself, if churches are reopening to have capacity, why can't the National Theatre open? Or why, the National Theatre. Yet, on a good day, you'll find actually a Pentecostal church coming to hire out the National Theatre for their prayers. Like, basically sitting the same way people would have sat to see a stand-up show or to see a film, but for some reason people cannot come in to see a film, but they can come in to have prayers. Like, some of these things were not making sense. So many of the stories we did were about that, trying to ask people to reopen us. But unfortunately, in the hardest time the industry was facing, there were also very many restrictions that were going around, mostly from UCC, literally trying to curtail the industry and the way people are creating.
Okay, perfect. Now, coming back to you, Hussein.
Yes.
We were under lockdown, but now the economy is open. Lockdown is done, and we hope it does not come back. What are some of the lessons you've learned, and how are you improving your skill going forward?
Yeah, one of the things I've learned from this COVID experience, one of them is how to handle money. That is one. As an actor,
saving.
that hit differently. It hit differently. And it taught me that, see, in life, if you don't make certain sacrifices and just you really want to enjoy life to the fullest, sometimes you don't know what's going to hit you. So we were like checked up in a way. So I learned certain things. Like,
are you saying that all actors and probably even public figures need to check their lifestyle?
Lifestyle check is the point. Everyone, if you didn't learn from the past and now everything's open, it looks like Ugandans, we forget easily. I can never forget because I had too many responsibilities, and then there was a lot going on. People went through depression, people went through a lot. We survived so many mental illnesses in that COVID. I can never allow myself or someone I know to go back there. I can never. Because
from what you're saying, Hussein, it's like actors and probably other celebrities live from hand to mouth. Is that true?
It is true, unfortunately, because once the performances stopped, once the filming stopped, everything stopped in our flow of cash everything stopped for all these years. So I've been lucky enough that I've been among the few actors that after the first COVID happened, I've been lucky enough that I've gotten jobs to work with, and thank you to my boss here. And I've been among those few.
He'll give you a raise.
Anyway, yeah, I've been among those actors that have been so blessed to be where I am right now. And I would say, if I'm to gauge my brand as Hossein Mushema, an act on screen, it went from 5 to 8 in this lockdown. And everyone was wondering on how I did it. But the thing is, instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the solution. Instead of fighting for posho, find the solution. Find the solution. You understand? And the most beautiful thing I've learned is to be humble, because people would look for me even when I'm not looking for them. You know, how are you doing, bro? You good? And out. You understand? So it's been devastating, but I've got good lessons on how to handle brand. I've learned a lot of things like reading, concentrating on something different, opening up new businesses, and learning to meditate. I've learned a lot of things. That
Meditation?
Meditation.
Why is meditation important?
It's very important because it is the only thing that people don't understand that is much powerful than people talking. That when you just keep quiet and ask yourself, if I'm in a problem or in a certain challenge, can I do something about it? If you can't do something about it, then why are you worrying? Why are you worrying? You don't have to worry. Then if you can do something about it, why do you have to worry? Then do something about it. You understand? So worrying and anxiety it was really killing us so much. Some people left the industry. Some people never got border because it was the available job. Some friends got accidents. Border. It was very devastating. But I thank Allah that I'm here right now, and I can say I've been a successful actor in this kind of period, and every project I've done has made a milestone to the industry, and that to me is a big achievement, not only to me but people out there, the actors, the filmmakers. My achievement is everyone's achievement in this industry.
Now, for those actors, you've talked about saving, which is really an important issue, because we saw artists, musicians, celebrities, etc. during the lockdown, basically struggling to survive, going begging for money from probably the government and other entities. You've talked about saving. How are you doing that, and how would you tell your fellow actors to do it now?
The thing is, you have to look at your income, your income flow. If you're really getting, let me say, 1 million a month, through adverts here and there, you can still save that money. Do you know how much money the teachers get? The teachers,
I don't know. How much?
600 to 800.
Okay.
And these people have managed to build houses. They've managed to buy land. And for you, an actor or a person in the industry that is like in the entertainment industry, and you cannot even save and tell me, where have you been putting that money? One, we live a luxury life that we don't even understand ourselves. Understand? Living in 2 expensive apartments, you want to have this beautiful girl there and there, whatever. It's okay if you have that money to spend around. But then reality hits when you see your friends making sacrifices in life and they're really improving their lifestyle, and then you're like, you understand? Because they're making sacrifices that you don't even know. Mushema is there, not going to bars. Mushema is there, not trying to sacrifice whatever he can to save. And in 5 years, I'm building a very huge mansion, and you're there saying, Mushema miyai. You understand? So the thing is, Mukesi, that mentality has to change in Ugandans. That this is an industry that is growing so fast that right now we can look at ourselves like, I can get a salary.
On that point, I want to cross over to the film producer. Matthew, before we talked about something really that caught my attention, the basic thing of getting the authorities, the government, to know about what we do as filmmakers. How do we improve our film industry going forward, now that this is a new era? Because Ugandans are looking at this year as Uganda reborn. We have oil starting to be, the construction has started. It's a new opportunity to move forward. How do we improve the industry, and what are some of the key factors to look at?
One of the key factors that we need to look at, one is our productions. Start with, we need to do better. Yeah, I think we need to get out of our comfort zones and do better.
Yeah.
We should stop the whole Ugandan standards and look at maybe Hollywood as the standard.
Yeah.
Because once you have something really good, people will yearn for it. I would say maybe one of the challenges I'm having, I may have right now, is previously I have a popular show called Sanyu.
Yes.
But it started during the lockdown, and people had no choice but to sit home and watch TV. Now the country has opened up, and people have options for entertainment. I have to work 4 times harder to keep people glued to the show, as opposed to going
before.
Before they had no choice. Now people have choices. So if I am going to survive in the industry, I need to work 4 times harder.
Improve quality.
To improve quality, to give people a reason to come back and watch TV. Yeah, if I don't do it, then I'll die. Whether government is coming in to help or not, I think it is my responsibility to do what I have got to do in order to keep people interested in the business. Because I keep telling people, there are so many people out there who are doing illegal business. There are people who are trafficking drugs, there are people who are trafficking people, there are people who are robbers, they do that for a living. And they are surviving, they are prospering, their businesses are booming. How about I, who is doing a legal business? What excuse do I have? Zero. Whether government or no government, I have to do what I have to do.
Yeah. And in terms of quality, you talk about improving quality in the film industry. What does that look like? Is it in equipment? Is it in storytelling? Is it in acting?
I think a bit of everything. Storytelling is really, really key.
Yeah.
If you have a good story, yes, then people will stay glued. But then again, for me to be able to watch your production on TV, first, the picture has to look good for my eyes to be captured. 2, the sound has to be good for my ears to be captured. Then 3, the acting and the story has to be good for me to stay watching. Yeah.
Some of these equipments that we use, and you use them on the production of Sanyu, they are bloody expensive.
Yes, they are.
Very, very expensive.
No, just because I like, he's a person of the industry, and I think I had an idea of the answer he was going to give, and I do not want that answer. One, film is a very expensive kind of work, and I think when someone is coming into film, they need to know that truth is, I'm working on my very first documentary film.
Congratulations.
And I do not want to give people excuses like, yeah, you did not know the budget I was working with. Like, literally, every time I'm out of money, I'm like, pause, I will not do something substandard because I do not have money. And when I get that money, I throw it in. I think if you're waking up and you're choosing to become a film producer, give us something you're not going to ask us to support you. I do not want to support the industry. I want to watch the industry because I love what I'm watching. Like these things of support Ugandan industry, like come on, we are making this money. It's so hard to make this money for me to just go out there and start supporting. Like I want to go to that cinema and watch a film I want that because it is worth it. We need to watch Ugandan films because they are worth it, not because we are supporting someone. So to improve the quality, you need to invest that money, invest in writers, you need to invest in costume designers, you need to invest in those cameras. And funny thing is, all these things are present in the country.
Going back to you, Matthew. We're talking, he says you need to invest.
Yeah.
And that is a challenge that a filmmaker from downtown or an upcoming filmmaker who doesn't have the financial muscle per se NTV has or your company has. How do they then get the money in to actually produce the quality of work that they want to produce?
I think you need to start small. I mean, don't think about starting with a series. You will not handle. Don't think about starting with a feature film. You might not. Can you do a short film, but do it well with the right equipment, the right lighting? Because it might cost you, you can do a short film in 1 day or 2 days, but as long as you've managed to get some little money to get the right equipment there and the right personnel, you could do a short film in 2 days. Put it out there, put it on YouTube, put it wherever. Let people know that, damn, you did a good job. Then partners will be interested. But if you keep giving us substandard things and think people will just support because it's a Ugandan, it's never, it has not worked for the last 40 years. Why will it work on the 41st year? It won't.
Then in terms of personnel, you've talked about getting the right people to work these cameras. Do you think we have enough professionals? Have we produced, maybe our institutions in terms of film academies, have they produced enough professionals who can actually do the work that can compete with a Hollywood film?
I will not say most of them can compete with Hollywood films, but yet then again we still have very many people. When we talk about people handling camera, there are very many. I think we have two departments that are very challenging. That is screenwriting and sound. Those two are very, very challenging. I don't think people have been interested in going in those areas.
Especially screenwriting.
Yeah, but they are very virgin, and that is why we have a challenge.
Well, I'm a screenwriter myself, and I'll tell you, it needs a lot of patience. And I think we have a syndrome of, I want it now, I want it to happen now. You don't have the patience of waiting for, let's say, 6 months to work on a script and say, this is perfect or this is going to go to a direction that I want. And on that note, I'll come to you, Andrew. Going forward, now that the economy is reopened, we are going back to cinemas. Yesterday we were in a cinema watching a movie. What are some of the things you expect from the film industry? Or what would you want to see?
One, I think anyone who is out there making films should understand that they are not producing for Ugandans.
Only.
Yeah, they are not producing for Ugandans only. They are producing for the world. You see, one of the best things that happened during the lockdown was the fact that we got people that call themselves filmmakers. Like, they proudly say, I'm a filmmaker. That's what I do for a living. And that's a very good thing. But the biggest challenge is the film industry employed a lot of people, and yet we do not have films coming out in cinemas. The good thing is they're being bought by TV and everything, so they have a ready audience. But you know, each and every film industry grows when there are actually people sitting in those cinemas to watch films. So right now that the industry is opened, anyone making a film needs to match up to what people are seeing on TV, or even better. Actually, you need to do better than what people are seeing on TV. Like, there is no shortcut of awudunga ekifaananako. You need to do a better job than Sanyu. You need to do a better job than Prestige. If people are going to come into that cinema to see what you're giving them.
And actually, I remember when you guys premiered Sanyu, I think I called you and I told you, well done, because I was looking at the product that you're putting on air, and I was impressed. I was happy for the industry that we are doing something that is actually going to attract more people, more investors to come in. But I'll come to you, Mushema, on that note. How do we've had a conversation of payment in the industry for actors, for the talent behind the camera, for basically also just selling my film to maybe a network. How do you think we are to improve the investment rate? How do we attract investors to come into the film industry, to give us money? For example, if I want to do a $500 million budget film, how do I get that money so that people are convinced, the investors who have the money, to give it to you and produce a film?
Yeah, one thing you must understand, it goes back to quality and how things are done.
Yeah.
The more you keep we keep ourselves in an image of like the way Ugandans, you know, Chavana Uganda. Unfortunately, that our very Ugandans are the hardest Africans to convince to go to cinema. But just like Kagwaz said, let's stop producing for only Ugandans. Let's produce for the world. The little sacrifice you make and put in that extra effort is what is going to pull that investor to come and give you the money. And you have a product to show. You're just not going to bring something that is filmed and it looks like it was filmed in 1990. In 2020, in 2022, you know, in 2020, someone has watched Sanyu. They expect you to be doing something much better. So in terms of quality, quality is going to speak volumes in terms of investment. When it comes back to payment, as to actors, to crew, to whatever, everyone has a price tag. Yeah, I've been struggling for the last 9 years in this industry, and I've built my brand. I'm not going to be paid the same like someone who has started yesterday. You understand? Because I'm contributing to your production. At least Mr. Matthew here knows. Understand? I'll post something, it will be viewed.
Cristiano doesn't earn as much as Martial.
I mean, we have different price tags, but that does not mean that you do differently. Because when we're on a film set, paycheck doesn't matter. What matters is the team.
Your production, what you put out.
What you put out. People will not understand whether you ate.
Yeah.
People will not understand whether you got an accident on a border coming to work, whether you are chucked.
And they don't want to know.
They don't want to know. What they really want to know is that picture, that sound, that story, that quality on screen.
There's something I always tell crew members that work with me, that film is forever, pain is temporary. Because you know, sometimes when you're working extra hours, the crew might be like, we're tired, we want to. But the moment you get that into your head and do substandard work, that captured film
will stay forever.
Even when you die.
And I think in addition to what he has just said, I think people need to put their work out there. Like, no one is going to discover you when you're under a rock. Truth is, right now when you talk about Sanyu, people know what Sanyu is, people know what Prestige is, people know what Girl in the Yellow Jumper is. It's because people that produce these works actually try to put their works out there.
To brand.
Like, the only way investors are going to come to you is when they believe you actually have numbers, and they believe when they give you money, it will come back. Right now, I believe it's easier for someone to give someone money to produce a TV series. We've not yet reached there where someone can give a filmmaker money to make a film, because they do not believe people may show up in cinemas, but at least they know people will watch.
And yeah, thank you so much. And I'll come to Matthew. As a film producer, we're talking about attracting investment. And again, as an actor, he will say, I have a price tag, I want this money. But at the end of the day, that is dependent on the money that you've gotten to invest in the film. So, do you think filmmakers need to get knowledge and understand and probably go to school for the business side of the art?
Yes, I believe so strongly. I think many people, not just in film, but artists, do not understand that this is a business. So people need to understand that you are running a business.
It's not
just a hobby. It's not just passion. Passion is great. It drives you, but you need to put passion together with the business aspect to grow. If you lose one of them, everything is dead.
You're done.
So yeah, it is important that people get knowledge about doing arts as a business.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming through. I know we are running out of time. My producer is shouting in my ear saying, get out, get out. We are running out of time. But before I let you go, I want to ask one question to all of you, and you answer it in whatever way you would like. What has been the most memorable moment for you in film?
The most memorable moment to me in film is seeing myself back in the day and where I am right now. And that is just hard work. To me, it's memorable. It will never go away. And I still have the same zeal.
What does that make you feel?
it makes me feel appreciative. Yes, that I still have work to do, but then I am seeing that I'm going somewhere.
All right, well said. Matthew, the boy. By the way, I've been told we have a donut. Oh, we don't have a cake, but we have a donut.
I'll eat it. I'll say my most memorable moment in film should be, I think, was more as an actor.
Yeah.
I'm still an actor, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not stopped acting. Yeah, I'm still acting.
We might not give you gigs.
Please, don't deny me gigs. I'm still acting, regardless. I think it was a moment I met 2 Hollywood film stars in Lagos, Nigeria. Because we show up at this film event, I think it was the AMA Awards. Then we had Danny Glover and Forrest Whitaker here. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I've been watching these guys since I was a kid. So I started...
And here they are.
Yes, I started composing myself. I'm like, okay, how am I going to craft my speech? You know, I'm a big fan of yours. And yeah, I've been watching your movie since I was a kid. So I get to Forrest Whitaker. And he's like, hey, I know you. And I'm like, come on. Me? I've watched your film. Okay, fortunately, he had watched the movie I'd done, Battle of the Swords. I was like, oh, so I didn't go on with the speech of, you know. I was like, yo, hi, Forrest. That's it.
You started using
we were equal, actor to actor. So I think that's the most memorable moment.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mr. Documentary Maker.
Well, I don't know if I'll start. Okay, I'll keep this short because I might want to get myself in trouble.
Okay.
One, I think hosting the world premiere of, the African premiere for Border Thieves, that was in South Africa. I was doing the Q&A at the festival, at the Durban International Film Festival. Yeah, that was memorable. But just one more thing that's not even connected to this, like we've been in a lockdown for 2 years. Very many people have been watching content. It's been a great time to actually make content. And just when I'm looking into this camera, it is so sad that after 2 years, most of our TVs didn't create content. It's sad.
Well,
okay,
gentlemen, we have come to the end of this amazing interview, and thank you for coming through. I know you have busy schedules, but you took the time and came through. Thank you so much for that. Well, if you've been watching, we have come to the end of Morning at NTV this Friday and this weekend. So make sure to catch us on Monday, and we continue the routine of giving you the best interviews and entertainment right here at NTV Uganda. And be sure to catch up with what you've missed. Just go to our YouTube channel, look out for NTV Uganda, and look out for NTV Uganda again on Facebook and Twitter. Or look out for me, Idris Matusegawa, and share your opinions, share your views, and just, you know, move the industry forward and the country forward as a large. Good morning and bye-bye.